But ultimately, I think that Africa needs to learn from China, from Korea, from Iran, and from Russia, who first had these beautiful revolutions that commanded the respect. Then they developed their militaries, they developed nuclear, developed all these sorts of things, and then they built their economies. We're sitting here and we're talking about being in the United Nations, having a rotating seat in the United Nations Security Council.
Guys, who is this guy? Who is this young man? Who is this young white man that is giving Africa this kind of advice? That is giving this kind of advice to our African leaders to be like these countries he mentioned, to be like China, South Korea, and all these countries he mentioned in this video. Who is this man? This is my first time of seeing this video, guys. Guys, I'm gonna play this video to the fullest. I will play in full so that you will know the kind of advice this guy is giving African leaders, that they should unite together. Imagine that we are talking about unity in our own country, that our leaders are not even talking about, but somebody from outside Africa entirely is giving African leaders, is giving Africa this advice that they should unite themselves and build themselves, that they have everything needed to stand on their own, like China, South Korea, all these countries he mentioned, that Africa has what it takes, bro. That Africa has what it takes to be on their own without depending on the UN and France in anything they want to do. Stand on their own, bro, stand on your own. You have everything. Why are you begging every time? Begging. Every time you are running to these people and they think that you are just a beggar. Guys, I'm not talking much here again. Just sit tight. As I'm watching it, try to drop your comments at the comment section. Subscribe to the channel for more updates as somebody that wants Africa to unite. I'll be updating us back to back, and also make sure you turn on your notification button and also give the video a big thumbs up. I remember my humble self, the Ike Man. We move regardless. Nope.
But ultimately, I think that Africa needs to learn from China, from Korea, from Iran, and from Russia, who first had these beautiful revolutions that commanded the respect. Then they developed their militaries, they developed nuclear, developed all these sorts of things, and then they built their economies. We're sitting here and we're talking about being in the United Nations, having a rotating seat in the United Nations Security Council. We're talking about the economic plans of Africa in the future, new currencies, African Union. All of that doesn't mean a whole lot if the West is going to come in and trample all over you. What good is a seat at the United Nations if they're not going to listen to you? The United States has to listen to China. They have to listen to Russia because China and Russia have a bunch of that are already pointed at every Western city. Now, of course, I support Africa having to understand we're far away from that, and maybe it's a bit controversial to say that. But what I think we also need to understand is that Africans are dealing with this. I think the West needs to get very worried about the potential for Africa to assert its own sovereignty and command respect in the same way that we're seeing in the new Confederation states, but all across Africa. And maybe it only starts with one or two nations, but that's exactly what we saw with Iran and Syria. And now look at the United States proxy of Israel. Israel's collapsing all across the region. So I think the question of military power is extremely important, and it actually comes before the question of economic power or trade routes or currencies or any of these things. So I hope to see more bold leadership, even in the case of Niger. Victoria Nuland was too afraid to tell Nigeria to invade Niger because she understood the military power of these Sahel states with the backing of Russia. They wanted to do an ECOWAS invasion, and with the intervention of Russia and China and the military backing in the Sahel states, they understood in the United States that this was a no-go, that they couldn't do it. So I hope in my lifetime, I'll end here, that we'll see a nuclear Africa. We're already seeing Russia. Rosatom is talking about bringing nuclear reactors into Burkina Faso, but I hope one day it's nuclear.